镜花水月，昨日辉煌，一朝称王之人为何而战？
状态起伏，皇冠不朽，为再度登峰造极而战。
后发之人咫尺后有，逐梦离乡之人为何而战？
狼群散去，但听狮吼，为重回最高舞台而战。
前路漫长，多有磨难，久别功名之人为何而战？
不卑不亢，静候良辰，为击溃心中魔障而战。
百战千回，盛名难复，初心长远之人为何而战？
漫漫长路，甘为学徒，为骑士永不缺席而战。
静如平湖，稳若泰山，最新团队之人为何而战？
不为声名，不为强者，为众人齐心制胜而战。
金戈铁马，折戟黄沙，享尽荣光之人为何而战？
胜负成败，兵家常事，为无愧满身金甲而战。
激情四焰，天赋异禀，心愿未达之人为何而战？
春日遗憾，金秋奉还，为成长成熟称命而战。
正值巅峰，心存浩瀚，意气风发之人为何而战？
凤翼天翔，野火燎原，只为那梦中银杯而战。
Round 1 of the LPL Summer Playoffs concludes today as we prepare to see who makes it through to quarterfinals to face RNG. Will it be the reigning world champions of Invictus Gaming or the rebranded and re-energized LNG Esports? We're here to find out exactly that today here in the Hongqiao Arena. It's Invictus Gaming go up against LNG. IG, of course, coming off that World Championship last year. This split has been a little shaky, last split as well. So they're looking to come back, redeem themselves a little bit. JakeyLove on your screen, the rookie AD carry. This is just his second year.
Yeah, and you can already see Duke showing his face, but on towards LNG coming in. Flande going to be the opponent now. I wanted to see Flande versus TheShy. Maybe we'll see it later on in the series. Of course, it is a best of 5, so that's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. Best of 5, we get to see LNG again. Hello, everyone. I am Matt Niberic and Daniel, joined here by Barento Raz Muhammad. And we got to explain the wig, Raz.
You look fabulous.
I do. I really feel fabulous. You know, I didn't know you cared, Raz.
Oh, God, I regret this already. Just so you guys already know, if you saw yesterday's broadcast, you saw what is Clement in an afro and a nice little spectacle there. And also, you just saw a pink nonsense on top of Hysteric's head. And what came down to a very successful predictions run from me. It was a bet. I won. They wore wigs. So you guys get to reap, you know, what you sow, except he apparently looks too happy about this. He has hair now.
That's right. Finally got it. I found a way around it if I just tank the predictions, because otherwise I'd be on top. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. But we got to talk a little bit about the results of those predictions and why you were so successful. So let's look at where the playoffs are now. Of course, yesterday's games, EDG took down Suning in a 3-1.
Now that one I didn't expect. Well, to be fair, EDG were the odds-on favorite to go up against Suning. I expected a lot more out of Suning. But after game 1, where Hacker came in triumphantly, he looked exceptional with his Garner play. Then EDG just took over. Specifically, Jinu's Gangplank. He was balling going up against the Vladimir in lane and just completely took over the rest of the game. And then, of course, the next few games came in as well. I talked about how Hacker had a great game 1, but then JJ also just had phenomenal next 3 games that came through. So congratulations on EDG. We'll be seeing them going up against BLG tomorrow.
Yeah, that's the quarterfinals, but we got to figure out the first round here today. That's Invictus Gaming versus LNG, and as we said, they're going to be going up against Royal Never Give Up, whoever wins this one. So this one's going to be a little bit of fun.
Yes.
Raz. I'm excited to see Invictus Gaming come back because, you know, they've had a little bit of a rough split, but they're not the only ones. LNG as well barely squeaked their way into these playoffs.
LNG had to qualify on the very last series for themselves. And it was either them or Team WE. It really came down to the Suning matchup that they had. And thankfully, they showed up. Because you're right, for LNG, it was a really tough, you know, go for them for the split. Because at the very beginning, they had an undefeated first 5 series. And then they started really tanking. And a lot of the times that we saw them play, it was communications issues consistently coming through in the jungle support and mid lane. Now we're seeing Fen come through. A lot of the skirmishes that we saw when they were going up against Suning were easily handled. A lot of it came down to the fact that Duan was rotating with SofM pretty frequently. Fun was always on the same page. And you see this was 5 minutes into the game, and Flande was already set to succeed, coming to the rescue in the mid lane fight. So good strength that LNG has is their team fighting. Consistently, when they get to this stage of the game, 35 minutes long, you then rely on Asura and Flande to have insane fights. Akali is certainly going to be the pick to watch here. I put in outplay because a lot of the times they get a little bit chaotic. And you tend to see Flande really thrive under those circumstances. So those are the 2 key points that I have for LNG coming into this series.
Well, because like you said, they have one of the longest average game times in the league, 34 minutes, 41 seconds.
Yeah.
It gets a little out there. But Invictus Gaming, this might be a struggle for LNG because IG tend to close out their games fast. Average game time is a lot closer to that 30-minute mark, just a few seconds off. So when you're coming into this matchup, you really, if you're LNG, you get a little bit nervous because it's like, okay, can we even make it to that stage where we team fight?
Well, if you do make it to those stages, a lot of the times you do rely on that one. I talked about, you know, the 2 members that are incredibly important when they get to that 30-minute mark, and it's a lot of the times on Asura and Flande. But the bridge to that point is going to be SofM. And so it's really funny because if we're just talking about interesting matchups for both of these teams, initially I came into this one easily clinging on towards Flande versus TheShy. But as you can all see, based off of the early images, Duke is going to be starting out in game 1. The jungle matchup is really damn fun. Both of these guys are, you could say, coin flip players. I would say just like sink or swim, where Ning and SofM have been stacking MVPs this split because they either have phenomenal games or they're the core reason why they end up losing that out for them. So I really have been liking the recent games from Ning because Leon has been behind him, of course, the sub-jungler for the team. He's been coming in from the LDL, really putting in some fire, and so Ning has been performing well ever since that point. SofM, as you saw in the last series versus Suning, played phenomenally alongside Duan, and that's all we really wanted to see, is more so the coordination early on in the games for SofM. So recency really gives both Ning and SofM good showings.
It's just an exciting stylistic matchup for me because if you look at what Ning is known for, he's known for being that super aggressive, you know, jungler who goes in hard, whereas SofM, he's just like, I'll just path whatever. You think you want to get an early invade on me? I'll just go Wolves over to Raptors, over to Krugs. I'll skip all the buffs. I don't care. I will get away from this and get vision down.
A lot of the junglers, I mean, I remember Karsa, when they were going up against RNG, made a mention that after the first clearing that SofM has, he's like the most unpredictable jungler to go up against. Mostly because, as you've made a point about, he is the most creative at being able to say, well, I'm going to be taking the camps necessary to be on this side of the map, so he gets there a little bit faster than most people. And that's what I'm going to be the most interested about in this series, because both these teams, as you've mentioned, or at least specifically for Invictus Gaming is a very fast-paced team. But as you saw when Suning went up against LNG, they're equally fast-paced. It's just what they end up doing with their advantages. It's Invictus Gaming that when they take those advantages, Ning goes in a lot further. He tries to ramp up the pressure, dives a lot more frequently because they want to get to that 25-minute like end game mark. LNG tends to slow it down. Like right now, in terms of just raw vision control, SofM is #1, and that's not necessarily a good thing. That's just saying that they tend to slow things down and try and clear things numerous times, set up for that Baron fight that you end up seeing consistently from this team. So they tend to slow the game down to a much more controllable pace. So I just want to see who gets the control from the very beginning. Is it going to be SofM or Ning?
And I think another thing that we need to talk about as well for Invictus Gaming is, you know, if they get that control, if they can get to that point, that's fantastic. But a lot of the time in this split, they were not able to do that.
Yeah.
This is last split we saw Invictus Gaming. They were just like, all right, we're ready for finals already. They started really high in the bracket. This time, they're actually having to start from the first round of playoffs.
Yeah, and a lot of that has become about just, you know, since MSI, this team hasn't been able to really play together. The championship team hasn't been able to play. And along, you know, the first 4 weeks, we saw Lucas come in. And then when Lucas was out and we finally saw Baolan back into the ranks of the roster, then Forge came in because of unfortunate circumstances. It was only really after Rift Rivals, the full 5-man members of the team, and I'm going to include Duke, so I'll say 6, started to perform and work with the team. So the game-to-game record is 13-9 with the championship roster. That's important because you can really start to see them gel at the very end of the split. So I said recency matters here. I just want to see what Invictus Gaming looks like in their first best of 5 here in the split.
It's going to be an exciting one. Of course, we are going to have Duke subbing into the top lane instead of TheShy, with Ning in the jungle, Rookie mid lane, JakeyLove and Balon rounding out that bottom lane. And I'm excited to see Duke again. He's been subbed in now 2 series.
Yeah, I remember seeing his Corki a little bit there. So he is kind of meshing well with the current meta. Been still spamming solo queue at this stage. He's a very stable player. I want to be able to see what that does mean, because a lot of the times you have TheShy in the ranks, then you're seeing a lot of the jungle proximity go top side. I'm excited to see if that means that he can stand alone in the top side of the map, and we can see Ning path towards mid and bot side a little bit more heavily.
We were talking about it could be the top lane matchup, the jungle matchup, either one. Of course, you have Flande in the top lane, SofM in the jungle, Fen mid lane, and Asura and Duan rounding out that bottom lane, rather.
And I'm still incredibly excited for Asura and Duan. Duan coming in, just so you guys all know, formerly known as Caveman last year, was with Vici Gaming, especially when they had Dandy in that roster. So he has been a strong shot caller historically. Coming in and being able to be that tag team with SofM has been the reason why a lot of their wins have been coming through, why they're in the playoffs to begin with. And so if you've been seeing how Duan has been playing, very good engage points that he's been able to have with SofM. And then in the damn team fights, Asura has been the most consistent player on the roster. He's just been a strong asset to the team. Stats have been phenomenal, so he's been topping the rankings for a lot of the AD carry stats points. So I want to see if that's something that you can hold up against JakeyLove, who has been the go-to player for Invictus Gaming.
Yeah, Asura has just been an absolute monster. Even since Spring Split, we were looking, and we realized how incredibly stacked the LPL AD carry talent is. And of course, looking at Invictus Gaming's team stats now.
So one thing to make sure of, 3-game percentage really just means how many times they've gone to that 3rd game. It's not something to be proud about. 73% is the highest, meaning that Invictus Gaming has always come to that last game to really be the decider. It's only in the last 2 series that they're able to really nail those 2-0 victories, but it was up against non-playoff teams in LGD and Rogue Warriors. So one can make the case that we haven't even seen them go up against a strong opponent and show good shows. So LNG is going to be a really good test, especially off their previous games. They've looked great in being able to nail down, the mid lane jungle matchup, been able to throw in numbers and kind of force early game team fights really aggressively. So Invictus Gaming has to be ready for that.
And it's interesting, too, because we don't know really which Invictus Gaming we're getting. Is that 2-0 trend going to continue here, or is it going to be, we haven't seen them in a best of 5. Are they going to have to take it to 5 games? We're going to start looking at their 5-game percentage next?
So I remember our playoff preview show that we ended up having a runabout. Me and Clement just talking about it with Hysterics as well. I made it pretty clear that I think that LNG will take a game, but nothing more than that. I want to see if LNG can surprise me on that front, because Invictus Gaming, you still have to give them the benefit of the doubt, being a championship team in, of course, World Championship, also being the spring champions as well. They had a pretty damn strong spring split. A lot of the international audience won't really agree to that simply because of the MSI showing, but they were the favorites going into MSI, and so you have to give them that respect that throughout the summer splits regular season that they will be able to come back to form.
Of course, the finals was so decisive from them, an easy 3-0 over JD Gaming. We want to see that level of decisiveness. We want to see that Invictus Gaming back as we get ready to go into the drafts for game number 1 of LNG versus Invictus Gaming. And of course, LNG, the bans and picks, I'm expecting there to be a lot of focus on the top side of the map from Invictus Gaming, because Flande for LNG, as you said, once they get into the team fight stage, so strong. But looks like they've already taken away the Akali, very focused down up on that top side of the map. The Olafs and Silas taken away as well by Invictus Gaming, and LNG have responded with the Yumi and Kiana bans.
I'm going to be interested if LNG just want to throw the Gragas ban out. There we go, instantly. Makes it easier now to justify a Sejuani pick. In the LPL, a lot of the times you will put a halt to the Sejuani option, knowing that the Olaf and Gragas will have a lot of early game damage and can really spike far earlier than the Sejuani can. Especially with the Aatrox being picked up by Invictus Gaming, now you have that melee option that can really compound the stun that Sejuani has to offer. So I want to see what LNG's pick into that one. There we go. Yeah, pick it away.
There it goes. They were looking also towards the AD carry position. We'll see if they continue that one. But the Sejuani, like you said, it's got locked in now for LNG.
LNG loves Kai'Sa. So whenever they get to this stage of the pick and ban, and they're going up against the well-respected Kai'Sa player, they'll tend to pick it away from him. So there we go. Kai'Sa and Sejuani as expected from LNG. It's going to be Invictus Gaming that has to pick against that. Now, I'm thinking Ezreal. It's up and available. You don't want to go into second phase with 80 carry bans being thrown through. You already have an Aatrox in the top side of the map. Varus works really well, actually. Varus Tahm Kench has a lot of lane dominance there. So even though the Kai'Sa is being picked out, even if they throw in a Nautilus pick before they're going into the second phase, I still love the dual lane matchup that JakeyLove and Baolan have picked for themselves.
LNG, of course, want to pick a good one for themselves as well, because this Kai'Sa, as you said, is a very strong pick here for Asura. His most played this split, 12 games, 67% win rate. But it looks like instead, LNG looking towards that top lane, want to secure something for Flande.
Okay, Camille being tagged alongside the Sejuani. Remember when Sejuani gets thrown into the mix? Then you start seeing a lot more higher priority on bruises. Renekton is something now you have to respect. So going into the second phase, you might see double bruiser coming out of LNG solo lanes. That's something to take note of.
Of course, Ban's going to be coming out here from LNG. Want to see what they take off the table, because theoretically, this Aatrox could be going solo lane, could be going jungle. I want to see what they think it's going to be and who they want to limit down on it. It looks like they're trying to take options away from Ning.
Yeah, I love Aatrox, going into the top side of the map. It has some great answers into the Camille, even though Camille should have good early trades up against it. If you have a good opportunity, let's say if a gank comes your way, your Q2 can just, or at least any Q, but it's much easier to land Q2 on a Camille that's trying to escape with hook shots. So I've seen that some players be able to nail that pretty consistently. So I think Duke should be comfortable going into that lane matchup. He just has to focus on getting a good matchup for Ning, which, to your point, good on LNG to start banning that away. The Ivern one? All right, they know a lot. You see Ning bouncing around on that one. He's like, all right, well, they know too much, guys. They've been digging into my solo queues.
It's interesting, too, because neither of those picks have appeared in competitive, but they want to take that away from Invictus Gaming there. Ning not picking up either one of them, but Invictus Gaming themselves, they're taking away the support options from Duan. They don't want to give him that roam. They don't want to give him that lane dominance, but they're still looking at this Rakan potentially. This is the bottom lane Invictus Gaming got their skins for, and LNG have taken it away.
Yeah, but the weaknesses of that bottom lane in World Champions still exist today, which is bad laning phase matchup. Rakan without Isaiah is incredibly weak, and they wanted to have a tank and engage option. It's just smart that the Alistar and the Nautilus were banned away here. So LNG, if they can, essentially get hold that L in the bot side of the map and focus on the top side really early on, maybe find a gank through level 6 on the bot side of the map to kind of alleviate some pressure, that would be a good strategy. But IG now has a strong bottom lane matchup. They have, I want to see what their mid lane pick is going to be. They should try and go for a pretty safe blind pick. Corki would make sense, and it would pile up the poke damage alongside Varus. So IG has a pretty nice and complete composition here.
Need to see what LNG want to respond with. Depends on what IG locks in here, of course. That's going to be the Karma. Most likely going towards that mid lane for Rookie.
Just going to have that little bit of movement speed boost that Skarner is going to have now. So Skarner is going to be pretty crucial to Invictus Gaming's roster. You still have a little bit of poke that she can throw out with Lute and Zeko in tow. So IG is going to be just fine. For LNG, though, having to pick against the Karma is never easy, so I wonder what Fen's going to try for.
Got just 5 seconds left until he locks it in. It looks like it will be the Corki that's been floating around this pick ban the entire time.
Yeah, it's just a lot of early poke coming in through from Karma, so Rookie wants to just be able to wave clear, heavy poke early on in the game, then get to his core support items so he can help out JakeyLove later on in the game. But the early movement speed now that Ning is going to have, just to be able to catch out the Sejuani, or even if he can get a prime pick, Duan is the most at threat here. Incredibly squishy, that wants to find times to engage, and the Skarner is just going to easily pick him out from the rest. So IG, I love the Skarner pick here.
But what benefits do we have here for LNG in their composition? What have they secured for themselves? Because we've already talked about the bottom lane might be a little bit of a struggle for them. The jungle matchup might have problems if Rookie's involved in that mid lane 2v2. What does LNG have in their camp?
Top lane's really good. I mean, Camille is already a pretty damn good matchup versus the Aatrox early. Just going to be able to constantly skirmish versus it. You throw a Sejuani into the mix, pretty damn good 2v2. And then in team fights, you just have a lot of raw damage. Kai'Sa, Corki, especially if it's going to be an AP Kaisa, then you have added Pokken as well. So I'm just loving the team fight that's, you know, LNG has picked for themselves. We've already stated it before the game started up that LNG's strength was team fighting. I love the fact that they're just going right back to that.
Just gonna go for your strengths against the best in the world, and you may be surprised how successful you find yourself, because like we were saying earlier, Invictus Gaming, they are no longer those unkillable gods that they were last year with those 17-1 split finishes. They're fallible now.
Very vulnerable is a very easy way to put it. So going into this game, I'm quite surprised Duke is coming in for game 1. LNG has to earn that respect. I assume that if LNG ends up picking up game 1 win, then IG is going to be packing the big guns. TheShy has been so damn strong in recent games. You're going to have to get to the boss Shy somehow.
It's up to Duke for game number 1, though, as we get in to the quarterfinals. Sorry, first round of the playoffs here between Invictus Gaming and LNG. Nothing too fancy here about this level 1. Just scouting out all the possible entrances there on the side of LNG. A little bit of poke coming down early from Rookie, but it's not going to matter a whole lot. Doesn't even have the Klepto to get extra gold, so.
Yeah, going on to that point, though, going towards a Comet instead of an Airy pick. So you now expect it to be a Luden's Echo pickup really early on. Duan is going to be feeling the pain here. Nice W. Just get out of there.
Flande scrapping a little bit early with Duke there already.
And that's great for him. Not only does he get a little bit of chip out, he's Klepto Camille. So he was confident in the early trades simply because of the passive when you go up against Aatrox. Makes it so much easier to get right in there. And also now you got that extra little bit of gold. Wasn't lucky enough, I don't think, to cash out, so that's still fine.
Not going to be able to pick anything up, but look at that deep ward he put into the blue side of Invictus Gaming. They want to know exactly where Ning's going to be in the early stages of the game. But SofM and Ning both starting towards that bottom side of the map. Not going to see too much action from the jungle just yet. Rookie misses a Q. Fen gets away with a free auto.
It's smart for, I mean, if we're just talking about jungle pathing, you fully expect Ning to just go for a full clear bot side, go towards the Krugs base, and then go top side. He would be in a position to defend a possible gank, while Sejuani is going to be just doing exactly that. Go top side, challenge for Scuttle Crab, he should be on it earlier, and then relying that Flande will look to challenge if Ning shows his face. So LNG should have their fangs bearing really early on. I want to see if there's much IG even can do to contest that.
So far, Flande playing a little bit defensively up here. Looks like Rookie going to try and find his way back into his own lane. Lots of vision being put down so that they're able to track the junglers, make sure these lanes are under control here.
And speaking of control, going back to the point that I made earlier when I was talking about the top lane push, I didn't even mention the mid lane push. That's the X factor where we know that Rookie's going to be able to have the shove early on. He's already starting to throw that out. I want to see if Skarner can have a hand on the early Scuttle Crab simply because of Rookie being there and having Fen pinned underneath the turret.
Already we're seeing that shove come in. Rookie looking for the bind, not going to be able to find it, but Fen already chunked down to half in this mid lane. And there's pings going down into the jungle side of Invictus Gaming here, Raz. Might be seeing a fight.
Much slower than I had expected. In fact, SofM just going straight in.
Yeah! Smites it away there. SofM going to be able to pick that one up. Might still engage on Ning, but I don't think so. The Spires are mighty dangerous.
This is a smart. All in all, Flande rotates just because they also know that Rookie was doing the same thing. SofM goes in for the invade before even touching the Scuttle Crab. Really damn well. I love the fact that LNG is already coming in pretty damn quickly.
Yeah, Flande was going real deep with that invade too. He was like, come here, get over here, kid. Where's that Grom? That's mine. That is my frog. Q not going to land there from JakeyLove. Bot lane doing fine, but mid lane not as lucky. Rookie in a little bit of trouble. Not going to be able to land the stun just yet. Ning coming in for the assist here on the side. Has the red buff available. Fen jumps out there. Oh, there's the stun. Comes down after the flash from Ning. Teleport coming in from the side of LNG, but is he going to be enough? SofM looking for the stun on a Ning. Will find it as Flande engages on a Rookie. SofM finds Ning. They won't find Rookie. 1-for-1 trade. First blood over to IG.
Good TP. I was a little concerned if Rookie could come in and help out Ning just a little bit, get a clean getaway, but at the end of the day, Flande is going to be able to pick up this wave, and SofM is going to be able to get a response kill. That being said, first blood is a little bit more valuable So the turn that Rookie had, a lot of damage onto FunFun, the flash in from Ning. Invictus Gaming starting out strong, and they just go straight mid. I mean, this has been a strategy that worked out well for them right from the get-go.
Flande going to be able to push that wave in, get himself back to his top lane. Want to see what he picks up here. He, of course, does have the Klepto, and it looks like FenFen might just be staying here in the top side of the map to get that matchup against Duke.
I think he's just picking up the wave. That's all it is. You want to have Corki stuck right through the mid lane. They're just going to see what it is. At the end of the day, if Corki gets a clean shove out and can rotate back mid, then that's fine. But taking a look at this replay, the moment Ning comes through and they can focus right back on FunFun, FunFun recognizes it and he just, you know, Valkyrie's out. Unfortunately, was tagged pretty easily. From this point forward, Rookie doesn't have any mana, so of course they're not going to look to turn. There was maybe a hope that he would be able to get another shield off on Ning, but at that point he needs to be able to save himself with the TP coming through. So good defense from LNG, but an even better, you know, first go at things with Ning being able to help out, get that first kill, and now he's going to be at least a little bit ahead.
Flande having a little bit of trouble trading into Rookie here. That Karma versus Camille matchup. That one I can see him well versed in. SofM looking for the invade, might be able to find it on Ning, looking for the stun once again. Finds it, there's the flash in. That is a huge engage there from Duan. They might find him, they do.
Duan coming in hot, man. I mean, already, if you already take a look at the experience difference before that even happened, 1 level advantage, and Duan's already getting the early roams going. Just the back timings that Baolan had there. So good stuff coming in from LNG.
This early game, pretty impressive from LNG, and worth noting that despite that gank in the mid lane earlier, FenFen has not blown his flash yet. So he still has that available. He just wasn't expecting Ning to go that hard for him.
Yeah. But
I'm not going to blame him for that one.
That's cool. Look at the minimap right now. So a lot of great control coming in through from LNG. Should set them up pretty easily for the Mountain Dragon. You can already see Flande rotating bot side too. So at this stage in the game, while IG had that first punch, it's been really difficult from Ning simply because of the early invade that Sejuani put through. So I'm pretty happy with what LNG has been able to output in with Sejuani in tow. It's still going to be, like, if we're just talking about early laning expectations, JakeyLove and Baolan should just be easily able to poke out and shove the lane. But before I talk about that...
That's a huge engage there coming in from Flande. Already used the Hextech ultimatum. Duke going to use his ultimate as well as SofM comes in for a gank. But that's going to be enough to deter it. So Flande just going to be by his lonesome once again.
I want to see if we can get a full shove out here on top side. Sejuani was leaning just in case Duke tried to go a little further. Had the HP advantage, of course. But Duke's playing pretty safely here, which is nice to see. A lot of the times when, you know, the Shy's put in that exact same situation regardless of jungle pressure, boy just goes in. He just wants to test his limits on that one. But a lot more of a safer early game coming in from Invictus Gaming.
It's one of my favorite alternatives. Oh no, JakeyLove, he's not going to be having fun with this one. Engage goes down, but won't even need to be saved there by Baolan. They got to be careful though under this tower. Don't have eyes on SofM right now. They might know he's in the bottom quadrant of the map. Seems like they think better of that engage. Back off, but Flande's in trouble. There's Q1, flash away from the W in the Q2. Flande was not happy with that trade.
This is a pretty disastrous miss on hookshot because that made it so he suddenly couldn't get out of range on the W, was easily able to be picked off and had to use flash there. So at least, you know, both top laners flashless. That's a positive, but easily avoidable from Flande.
The lanes have reset as well. Flande's rotated back towards the top side, FenFen back towards the mid. And, you know, Duke's been making the best of a bad situation in this matchup. Because we were saying that Camille, great matchup if you get the jungle pressure as well, but only down 3 CS is Duke.
Yeah, I don't think it's that bad of a matchup for Aatrox. I mean, of course, in terms of just raw skirmishing power, Flande is going to be pretty comfortable. But before I even talk about that, oh no, they saw him.
Womp, womp.
All right. Okay. We cool. We're all right. At least sits around so he can let them push out. I think they're going to look for a base timing right now. But to my point up top side, I think both sides are happy. If you have an Aatrox in a game, they're still going to look for it. Wow.
They're going for the dive, and they find it onto Duan. Teleport coming in as well. Invictus Gaming aren't done just yet. Flash in. Flash force from Asura. Baolan comes in with the ultimate as well. Asura, I don't think he's going to be able to get out of this. 4-man dive into the bottom lane, and Invictus Gaming pick up 2 kills.
They got took off guard by that. Especially with, I mean, JakeyLove's been sick for a long time. I just thought they were just going to look for a base the moment Skarner was shown on the map on it. So they got a lot off of what was a preventable situation. LNG didn't respect it. speaking of lack of respect, let's see if they can get something off of Rookie. Rookie's just going to be safe here.
Yep, no dive coming in from SofM, and FenFen as a result just takes half his HP for no return, but they might be rotating down towards this Mountain Drake at the very least. Been on the map a while, they did have a control ward in there, so they know it's clean. Rift Herald spawning in a few seconds as well.
But man, yeah, let's take a look at this one, because it's not as if there was any lacking information. They knew that Sejuani was topside and that the enemy jungle was down bot. It was more so the point that it was a large wave pushing into their turret. They thought that the jig was up and that Invictus Gaming was keeping their jungler down bot side to get a base off. That wasn't the case at all. Varus ultimate and empowered Q and follow-up damage. Invictus Gaming suddenly has a lead down bot pretty easily with that.
Yeah, such a beautiful Abyssal Voyage there from Baolan as well. And on the top side, Duke going to be scrapping out with Flande once again. Q2 narrowly missing there. Flande going to keep himself safe for now, but has that hook shot wall dive on cooldown as Ning's rotating up towards that top side of the map.
Easy vision control here too. Let's take a look if Rookie can get out of this.
Mid lane gank coming in. SofM flash away from Rookie to dodge the ultimate. SofM not going to find his gank. See how Ning does. Doesn't look like he's going to find it either. The re-engage. Duan coming in from the bottom lane once again. Can they find Rookie in time? They take him low. SofM low as well. Going to make it out safe, but here comes the Predator from Ning. He's not going to find anyone on the return.
Rookie didn't expect the second wave of gank. He was like, I'm cool. I got out of the Sejuani gank. Then you see Duan coming through. I mean, that's just that. Especially since he missed the slow on his W. He thought he was just going to be fine, but they end up finding the dive. Great knockup coming in from Duan. This is what you have to be scared about when you go up against LNG. That Duan will just be happy to leave lane, but he's still getting punished for it with how low this turret is. All turret plating's down. They're just looking for the turret now.
Might be able to find it, but like you said, Duan has been so incredibly good with these roams, but despite his success, hasn't translated into lane success because Asura down almost 30 CS, almost 40 actually.
Usually they don't get punished this heavily when they have Duan roaming. But now Duan's not going to find an opportunity to leave lane. At least the damage has been done and he's able to get the kill through mid. But they need some assistance down here.
They're just getting dove here. Asura so low, has to use the Killer Instinct under the tower just to keep himself safe. Baolan may be able to find this tower with the assistance of JakeyLove. SofM's coming down. Might be looking for a gank here into Invictus Gaming, but Rookie going to deter that one as the first tower picked up. Oh my god, it is just everyone chasing down in this bottom lane once again. The Impale goes down, as does Duan.
I mean, LNG, they're working with the information that they have. They have the wards available. They didn't see Rookie coming, though. And so the moment he came through, it was like, oh, we're just in a numbers disadvantage. That sucks. At least FenFen's able to get turret plating, but now the fact that JakeyLove and Baolan are free from the bot side of the map, and then they can rotate top to get Rift Herald, yeah, IG is incredibly far ahead now. Just based off the stats, you can see what they can accomplish. Usually these stats are far higher. So they're still pretty good. Like, playoff team in terms of being able to have first tower win rate, lead at 15, they're usually top class. And that during the spring split and fully in 2018. This time around, they're lagging behind, but you can start seeing essentially them going back in time.
Now that they've got the freedom in the bottom lane as well, they've just rotated JakeyLove and Baolan up towards mid. It's going to get them a little bit of wave pressure on this tower, and really, Invictus Gaming so happy with the early game so far. JakeyLove is massively ahead, 2-0-1. He's already got the Blade of the Ruined King working towards that Rage Blade with that recurve bow in the inventory, and they're rotating up towards the Rift Herald.
Yeah, because they have about, if we were talking about when turret platings are going to go down, a very slim window in which they can use the Rift Herald. So it'd be a smart idea for LNG to try and slow them down. You don't have to stop them, but at least stop it so Ning would pick this one up, go straight to the nearest lane, and then drop it immediately. But I guess they're going to try and trade against it. I don't like this idea.
He's got to pop it literally right now if he wants to get those turret platings. Looks like they'll be able to do that. They've got 4 members here in the mid lane.
Get there fast!
Go, run, Herald! Shelly, dive! Gonna see if there's any result there. Doesn't look like it. 13:48. All right, made it in time to take down those 2 turret platings. LNG a little bit slow on the rotate as well. Asura down in the bottom side. Looks like they're just going for a full-on engage under the tower here. FenFen barely survives, but Duan comes in with a beautiful ultimate. Not going to be able to find anyone, though.
Because there's no follow-up. I didn't like the engage because FenFen was already down to 10% HP, but Ning,
oh my god.
Ning was a bit aspirational. You're not going to get anywhere near him. I don't like that one.
Yeah, that's a flash down on a Skarner. He's still got the Impale up. Not sure what he was thinking, but you know what? I can respect that.
Yeah. So this is a weird game. I think LNG took this one off. They could have just tried and buy some time so they don't lose turret platings through mid lane. I was very surprised that the Corki didn't just die in that situation, but all right, at least they now have bot lane turret completely. They have so much gold now, 720 of the turret plating gold onto Asura. So if we're just talking about what late game LNG really requires, they have been getting it done. Have the gold on towards Asura. Fun has been fine so far. 157 CS is actually pretty damn good. So they got that Rocky montage thing going. It's more so IG just having a very dominant early game.
Well, and it feels like the game state has changed in a blink of an eye, because you look at the mid lane matchup before, that was a huge CS advantage for Rookie. He was up almost 20 CS at that point, and down in the bottom lane as well. That was a huge deficit for Asura, but you leave him down there when Invictus Gaming goes for that Rift Herald, you give away 5 turret platings.
Let's see what LNG can do about it, because they do rely on one big team fight. IG will always have the numbers advantage with how freely they've been able to use JakeyLove, but mid lane's been just flatly, I mean, no one's pushing it. Let's see if they can get something.
Flande is impaled. Invictus Gaming, they may be able to find the pick here. Hextech Ultimatum not going to save you for long. And Invictus Gaming decide that's the way they're going to get the Mountain Drake. But LNG, since the Drake's reset, they're sticking around for a little bit longer. 1,000 HP. SofM not going to look for the steal. Invictus Gaming secure away, tying it up 1 Mountain Drake to 1 Mountain Drake. All
right, let's see if they can push them off from mid. Get a lot of free chip on turret. They're not going to be able to, but still a really good pickup from IG. I don't even know how they saw him. I thought they had a good control ward, but you can see the ward that's being cleared on that bush on the side.
SofM looking for the engage, will find the ultimate, but in the meanwhile, under the tower, Duan just getting blown up. Rookie flashes away, keeps himself safe. Asura goes in with the killer instinct. Flash from SofM will secure the kill. Flash in from Fen as well. Balon, Invictus Gaming are just going down in this fight. 3 for 1 in favor of LNG.
Yeah, we need to see more of that. When LNG is behind, you cannot be sleeping. And just like that, Fen being able to pick up those kills, mid lane turret 2. This was the type of game that I was actually hoping for yesterday. You know, when I was in the crowd in Hangzhou, alongside Austin Creed and Cesaro, I want to see some action. But what we saw was more so, I guess, a chess match. This time, you don't expect a chess match when you're seeing IG versus LNG. They're not going to just be sleeping.
They're going to be scrapping, and this fight was absolutely gorgeous here from LNG, waiting for the turn. Asura, that killer instinct so good, but SofM's instinct was better. Flash in from both him and Fen to pick up the low health members of Invictus Gaming, get 3 off the back of the fight.
All right, I mean, at the end of the day, just want to see if LNG could find a few more opportunities like that. When you have a Sejuani, Camille, and Rakan like that, you can find opportunities, but I guess they found an opportunity themselves. Duan's going to be able to get out. You don't have follow-up, especially if you're going for Rakan. You just need to be able to have Rookie on the same page. He was right next to you, but only reacted once the ultimate came through, rather than, you know, being able to run in on the call. So this is just going to have been a weird one for Ning, using his flash earlier on when the Camille was nowhere near him. At least he was able to find that dragon fight and pick on the Camille then, but it's been hit or miss.
Seems like he's feeling pressure to just make something happen for Invictus Gaming, but at the same time, the early game was going great for you.
Yeah, but at this stage of the game, LNG could have a great lane assignment. I mean, they're trying to get as much experience in, you know, farm and Asura at this stage, but thinking about how they could put Fun and Flande on side lanes, that's a pretty easy setup that, you know, Rookie wouldn't be able to match. If you put him on a side lane, then he's not really accomplishing what his goal is, being alongside Ning to force fights. Naturally, Rookie, as the game goes on, will be missing out more CS and more experience because of his role here. So the moment he gets his second item, then he's going to be pretty damn comfortable. He needs to get to that stage, though.
Well, even with that second item, though, how well is he going to be able to compete in the combat in those side lanes? Because you look at Fen's build, entirely offensive. Flande's is as well. Trinity Force completed for both of them. We were talking about Rookie going for that Ludens first, and he's got that. But his second item's going defensive. He's got the Forbidden Idol. He's got the Aether Wisp. Not going to be a ton of damage from the items.
Well, yeah, that's why he needs to be with them too. So that's the goal here. I mentioned. Just want to see what we get more out of IG. They have great vision to the left side of the mid lane, so they should be able to at least get a pick on mid lane with flash up on Ning. Let's see if that opportunity presents itself.
Ultimate's already down there from JakeyLove. Not going to be able to find a whole lot off the back of it. Again, the CC Ultimate's not finding follow-up here, but LNG looking for it. Flande coming in for the flank once again. Balon a little bit of trouble, goes golden. Ning looking for something here. He has the ultimate, has the Predator. Not going to be able to find it. Beautifully timed ultimate there from Flande. Not going to be enough to keep him alive. Duan getting chunked down as well. Just the autos away. Free firing as JakeyLove. 2 kills for none in favor of Invictus Gaming.
I like the idea with Camille coming in from Arome, But an even better setup from Baolan, the moment he recognized Ning was taking all that damage, just by getting the pick on Camille, was able to save him out. Now this is looking like a parade. You got 2 turrets for yourself, already setting up towards the inhibitor turret. Let's see how much they can get on this.
Invictus Gaming just seem like they're breaking the game open with this single play. Up 1,000 gold, they're going to look for the inhibitor tower. Can they keep it going? Doesn't look like it. Flande coming up in 5 seconds, but that's the entire mid lane gone.
Yep, a very deep push. But there's actually heavy pings now for a flank, but that's not going to be a possibility.
From where, LNG?
Yeah, not even close. So at least they're going to try and push them off, force them to go all the way back so they can reclaim vision, but you run the risk of something like this.
Oh, they're looking to turn the fight. Fen in a little bit of trouble. Duan maybe looking for the engage, not going to be able to find it. Invictus Gaming playing very carefully, but this might be the Baron pickup here for LNG.
All right, desperation. They know that there's no ultimate from Ning and JakeyLove, so if they want to start a fight, Duke has to be the person to go in.
Half health on the Baron. Invictus Gaming need to go in now if they want to find it. That Baron is getting chomped down. It's taken away by SofM, which means LNG need to get out of this safely. They didn't turn the fight. They might be able to find it, in fact. Asura gets 1 kill. JakeyLove so low. The killer instinct into the back. Double kill so far for Asura. He finds the triple. Can he find the quadra and the ace? Invictus Gaming struggling so hard. One beautiful play, and this one not as good. The ace and the quadra kill for LNG Asura.
They killed that Baron buff so damn quickly. And I loved the fact that LNG just challenged them. Moment they went towards the inhibitor turret, they were like, all right, you didn't base. You took the opportunity to take the turret. You didn't think about the exit strategy. They chased them down the mid lane, and they recognized that if you don't have the ability to fight without the key ultimates, we'll just force that same situation. And it's so easy to actually snowball those fights and basically pick off the people trying to run off when you have Camille essentially with max hook shot. So you can just chase them down. I want to see that team fight one more time because this is all the way back too. This is good. Because how you were able to see the setup behind it, I mean, initially it was a great pickup from Ning. And he was taking so much damage, which is why Baolan had to come in. Now this is all the way forward, so you don't get to see the reason why this Baron buff was actually nailed. But it was because they went for the extra turret for the inhibitor turret. And they stuck around way too long. If they had base come back onto the map, they lose Baron. Especially up against Kaisa and Corki. And Camille. So they tried to pick a fight, tried to steal Baron, and they lost all of that. A huge gambit taken by Invictus Gaming.
Now LNG from a down position have figured themselves out a 5k gold lead, the Baron buff for another minute 45. It's just 22 minutes into the game.
Yeah, 2 calls that LNG made. One in the mid lane when the Sejuani went for the pick, and now of course in that Baron situation where LNG were willing to take very smart gambits. And it's been paying off. That's the confidence that we were talking about when you are a roster led by SofM. If he finds an opportunity, it really just comes down to the rest of the team to follow. The follow-up has been there for LNG, but when Skarner has been finding a pickup top side, it's not necessarily blaming the rest of the team. It's just purely communication that hasn't been spot on for Invictus Gaming.
For LNG, though, it has been absolutely magnificent fight after fight. And off the back of this, they're putting so much pressure around this top tower, rotating down towards the bottom side of the map with Asura and Flande. So they may be looking for a pick here onto Duke. He backs off wisely, knowing that there's no one left on the map. Now, just 56 seconds remaining on the Baron buff. I don't think LNG can find anything else with it.
Yeah, the problem with IG's composition is that they descale incredibly hard. If the Karma had a good partner in crime, let's just say if they had a Kaisa themselves or a Xayah, something that has a lot of late game damage, that'd be fabulous. But the problem is you have, you know, great Ardent Sensor, you're probably going to have a second item with it, with a Varus that is going to actually never have a safe position to fire off with Asura who's been consistently diving into the backline. And so right now LNG are in a pretty damn good spot. The only concern that I have is that when LNG have these advantages, they start to like slow play it, and there's usually one person, I would say primarily SofM or at times Duan, that would get picked off in these late game scenarios. Now it's still 25 minutes, so I want to see if LNG can clean this game up pretty quickly, pretty easily.
It's just all in the execution from here on out because they have the items, they have the gold that they need. If you just look at Asura's items, he's picked up 3 already. He's got the Mana Immune, or fully transformed into the Muramana. He's got the Runin's Hurricane.
Yep.
He's got the Rage Blade. He's got good. The QSS. He's fine for the rest of the game. Those are the items he needs. QSS on Flande as well, and Duan.
Look, all 4 members. The only one that doesn't have a QSS there, of course, is the Sejuani. rightfully so. If he's the one that gets targeted, then he can start the fight to follow up, which is great from LNG. The rest of them have QSSs. They're all prepared to pay that tax for Ning. So Invictus Gaming, if they want to take the fights going forward, I would say, throw in the JakeyLove ultimate. You have to start really, using your ultimates in cognizant with each other. Try and get a QSS off so you can start to use the Skarner Alter or someone else to just to follow up on that. It's just very difficult. In terms of ease of play at this stage of the game, I like LNG's comp because you can play side lanes very easily with Corki and the Camille. It's going to have to be Ning, as you can already see right now, that can get a side lane pickoff before LNG can group up in another lane. So we'll see if that's ever going to be successful. It's up to Flande to make that mistake, but he's not even looking like he's interested.
And this is really impressive from Flande because one of the problems that I had watching him last split was a lot of times, especially when he was on a split push side lane champion like the Victor that he was put on a few times, he'd just go a little bit too far out in the lane, a little bit too far past vision, get picked off, and LNG would lose their momentum. But this game, that doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's all about patience. And we've certainly seen that from LNG in their last series versus Suning. I think a lot of people, when they saw that last series, they were so much focused on Suning that didn't have that much motivation to win that series because they were already in the playoffs, that they didn't really pay much respect to LNG, who definitely overperformed at that time because it was a do-or-die situation. And it really, in my opinion, if they had continued that and they're looking to continue that in the series, then they're a real threat to Invictus Gaming. So I want to see if there's going to be an adaptation, regardless of if IG win or lose this game, that if we see TheShy come back in, especially with having that conversation with the coaching staff in the back. I know Leon is also a sub that's available to use. So all of these questions are certainly at play in game 2, but it really comes down to, that next team fight. Baron buff is definitely on the table, 5 seconds into it. And if LNG can consistently play these fights well, then we're certainly seeing an LNG victory in game 1.
And now Predator has been popped by Ning. He's looking for an engage here. Righteous Glory as well. Flashes in unison from Ning and SofM. So at this point, that engage, that team fight we were looking for might not be happening.
That was a good opportunity, though. Knowing that Sejuani was the only one without QSS, he had a pretty damn good window. Everyone else was doing Dragon or was simply not a part of the play. Now that they're fairly grouped up, teleport coming through, yeah, you don't want to touch that Sejuani.
I want to say if you can burn her down, you're golden, but if you look at the damage on Invictus Gaming, I don't even know if they could burn her down. Most of the damage that you're going to be doing is going to be coming from JakeyLove, and sure, you got the Ardent Sensor on Rookie to speed him up, but there's only so much you can do to a Sejuani with her passive and Aftershock.
Here we go.
Baron already down to half health. Invictus Gaming looking to contest. Flande going to find an engage onto Ning. Dashing in. Duan to follow up. X-Tech Ultimatum goes in. Asura's already popped off in the back of the fight. Killer Instinct to go back forward. Oh my god, it's a disaster for Invictus Gaming. The ace comes in once again. Another quadra kill for Asura, and that's going to be game number 1.
Yep, they got the mid lane wave. They have a Camille alongside him. 30-second death timer. Just a real confident fight coming in. And IG just looked, as you mentioned, in that fight, it was disastrous. I know the composition was rough for them, but they just didn't have answers. And now going into what was a very quick game 1 for LNG, you got a lot of questions. My answer is TheShy.
But LNG looking so good in game number 1. You were expecting them to take one game, Raz, but were you expecting them to take it in such a dominant fashion?
Yeah, this is a much cleaner LNG. It reminds me of the earlier weeks that they had. And a constant point that we have for LNG throughout this split, the season, has been communication, being on the same page. Now, the first time FenFen came in this split, I had questions in saying, well, Plex is an incredibly talented mid laner. It doesn't make sense to, make that swap unless if it was simply for the communications. The organization has made that very apparent, and, having those conversations. And FenFen this game played well. He's been having a standout performance. This Corki gameplay was great. Remember the team fight through Med where Sejuani came in? And FenFen just flashed straight into the back line. Confidence is there. LNG is going into the game 2 with momentum.
So much more momentum than they're used to having, I'm sure. And Flande, everyone on the team, I think, played incredibly well. But Duan, I want to highlight in that early game.
Yep.
Beautiful roams.
Yeah, Duan played well early. And I think a lot of that to the detriment of Ning. Ning felt the pressure on the early invade that SofM had solo, and then when he went down bot side, Duan was already there. And what was already a winning and pushing lane for JakeyLove and Baolan, he simply didn't expect the support to be in the his side of the jungle that early on. So that was just a good window for Duan to find that roam timing. So good stuff coming in from LNG. I mean, they look incredible. And I want to go back to the earlier point that I made about, like, you know, TheShy. This was not even anywhere near being Duke's fault. Duke played pretty damn well in his own lane. A lot of it came down to early team fights and plays that came through. Ning had the bad game, and while I'll give him credit knowing that he got invaded really early on and had a lot of pressure there, he just made some unforced errors later on that no one makes on Skarner. And so, tough game one. You expect them to at least bounce back, not saying a win, but I'm saying at least play better going into game two. It's going to be fun in that respect.
We're going to see if that's going to happen. Can Invictus Gaming rally back, or will LNG take the second game as well? We'll find out after a quick break.
Right now we're on the Baron, so I'll put that on hold and see what the response is. There are some very fast individuals.
Oh no, Flande has ult and flag. It's a cannon stopped by the Aurelia Flawless Duet, so he has to go golden. There's a tempered fade onto Chili. The Flawless Duet once again comes into Vanguard's edge, and now for Gorgo trying to take the fight himself, comes into